Hey, Alex here with EXP. This is your weekly market update for July 30th. I sell houses here in the greater Sacramento metro area, and I do these weekly market updates to keep you informed of what's going on in our local real estate market. Let's jump in and take a look. So, one key indicator that always affects our market as well as all markets across the country is interest rates and what the Fed's decision is on what they do with interest rates. And they meet monthly and they talk about these things. So as you can see, I did a basic Google search and came up, and I knew this before I did the search, but they kept rates the same. What I didn't know is the reason behind this is they're trying to keep inflation in check. But even more importantly is that when they had their discussion after the decision was announced, they didn't give us any guidance as to what their plans are in the future. And the reason they're doing that is because they don't want the market to anticipate their next move. And so when the market doesn't have the guidance to anticipate that next move, they can't what we call bake in the next decision that they have. They have to wait and kind of see what the Fed's doing. I support this. It seems a little bit unusual every time when they come out and say, but next time we meet, we're probably going to do this. And then the market takes direction from that. Now it's just kind of a wait and see thing, and let's see how the market goes. I think a big reason for this is the conflict in Iran and what's going on in the Middle East. So we got to talk about interest rates now. Interest rates, they're not great. They're not great. You're looking at 7.75 on a 30-year fixed. You can buy that down, get it down to the 7.5 range, but it's really not. It's not great, and I don't think it's going to improve anytime soon. I think this is the status quo. This is the market that we're in. And we'll see what happens when the conflict in Iran comes to an end, depending on when that is, what the season is, that sort of thing. But this is just kind of the status quo right now. In terms of the data and what we're seeing in the market, we still see a strong market right now. I believe home sales are up 14% over this time last year, so we have more market activity. And inventories are going down. Price per square foot is solid. If you want all those details, if you want to get into that market report, there's a link in the description. You can go and check that out. So if you follow my channel, you know that I'm the big land and ranch guy here in South Placer County. It's what I specialize in is land and ranch. And I have questions from Bay Area buyers. What we're finding is we have Bay Area buyers that are sitting on a ton of equity, and they're coming up into the Sacramento market, and they're wanting to buy not necessarily land, but they're just tired of living right on top of their neighbors. And that usually indicates that they're going to buy land and ranch property. So I put together this blog post on what you could actually buy up here for $850 as compared to the Bay Area. The reason it was $850 is because I went in and did a search of 5 to 10 acre properties with 2 to 3,000 square foot. And on average for our Quad County area, it averaged out to $850. And so if you think that number is low, then you're probably shopping in a market like Granite Bay or areas of Loomis and Auburn where the prices are much higher. But I went in and did this blog post to give people an idea of what they could buy. For those that don't want to read that article, I did put together this YouTube that goes a little bit deeper into it and more granular analysis of the different tiers of land and ranch that you can expect to buy. The one thing that really stands out to me right now in this market about that 5 to 10 acre property is that the acquisition price and the cost to build raw land is far greater than buying an existing property. That's just kind of where we are. It has a lot to do with the entitlements when you pay for your mitigation fees for the roads, the fire, the police, and then you add in the utilities. It really gets expensive. So if you want to know more about that, go check out my YouTube video on it. So I'm on TikTok. I'll put a link to this one down below. I got a lot of play on this one on TikTok. Interesting to note, though, I posted the same content, same exact video I posted on the other social channels and didn't get nearly the response I got on TikTok. So I'm not sure what's going on with TikTok, but man, I got a huge response, and I have 5 new clients I'm working with because of this post. It was kind of cool. But the real point of it is assume list. And I'm working with a number of buyers and sellers on their assume list. And it's a way of combating the 7% interest rates. I have one property in contract right now that has a 2.98% existing first. It's taking us about 45 days to close that transaction, so it's not too much longer than a regular transaction. But the seller is getting more for their home because of the interest rate attached to it. The buyer is saving about $1,100 a month on their house payment. Yeah, that's $10,000 a year. And the other cool thing is that the amortization schedule, they were 6 years into it. So now instead of having a 30-year amortization, they have a 24-year amortization. And so really, if they take that savings of $1,100 a month and put it onto that mortgage, they could pay that mortgage off in like 12 years. It's pretty amazing. So assume list, if you're not incredibly picky about the type of house that you're buying or the details of it, man, don't sleep on this one. We're having a lot of success with it. Now, my featured listing, I have this listing in West Roseville. It's on Diamond Woods Circle. It is a 3,000 square foot single story. It is a 4/5 bedroom, 3 bath. It's a beautiful home. It's move-in ready right now, and it's on the market. Sellers are really motivated, but it is a cool house. I remember when these homes were built back in the early 2000s, and this model of the single story was the one to get because of this front bedroom right here. That front bedroom is perfect for a mother-in-law quarters. A link to this one will be in the description. So that's your weekly market update for the end of July. I can't believe July is over right now. Next thing you know, we're going to be complaining about rain, and all this talk about El Nino really has me thinking about that. But if you are interested in what your home was worth, especially in that land and ranch category, I went on a couple different listing appointments this week in that land and ranch category. And the questions were, hey, what do I need to do to get my home ready for sale? What's going to pop out? What do you think the most valuable aspects of this property is? What's really going to sell it? If you're in that land and ranch category, I specialize in that. If you live in a suburban neighborhood, those homes are more straightforward. You go in and do an evaluation on, and especially derive value and see what the most valuable aspects of the property are. And I do a couple of those valuations each week. If you're a buyer in either land and ranch or first-time home buyer, maybe you're a move-up home buyer, um, I always have you start with your financing. It is so important to know what your payment's going to be, what your expected down payment will be, all of those details before you step out in the market. It's all about creating expectations and making sure that the expectation is in line with what you qualify for. So I had a number of buyer consultations this week. I'm still not showing them houses, even though they came to me and I wanted to see this one, this one, this. I said, wait a minute, let's make sure we got the financing in line. So that's the way I handle the buyers. So come and talk to me. I have different lenders set up depending on what type of buyer you are. I can direct you in that right place. Or maybe you have your own lender, and that's fine as well. So that's your market update this week. If you know anyone that is interested in buying or selling a home, I'd love to help them out. I get referrals on a weekly basis, and I'm very thankful for that. So look forward to your comments, your questions. Please share this with any friends that are thinking about buying or selling a home, and I will catch you next week.